Welcome to the Sacred Success Summit, where you access the secrets to sacred success and become even more of the goddess you've always known you were. Your host for this session is Samantha Ka'awa. Samantha is a best-selling author, keynote speaker, and esteemed marriage coach, recognized for her counterculture approach to transforming relationships. Samantha has been featured on TEDx, Fox, ABC, CBS, and other international publications and podcasts. Co-creator of this summit, Samantha, is eager to introduce another inspirational guest. Take it away, Samantha.
So I'm so thrilled to introduce you to my co-host, an amazing friend and intuitive and yogi and all of the things. Candace McKim. Welcome, Candace.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
I'm so excited for this. I'm just so pumped for the whole summit.
I know. This is just phenomenal. Yeah. Such powerhouse women and speakers. I'm just so in awe. So let me formally introduce Candace. So Candace McKim is a renowned international intuitive manifestation coach. She is a #1 international best-selling author and TEDx speaker. Candace empowers women to unlock their true potential and manifest their deepest desires with unparalleled expertise. With her vibrant approach and proven process, Candace facilitates profound transformation and impactful growth, guiding individuals to embrace the sacred synchronicities of manifestation magic. As a trailblazer in this realm, Candace sets a new standard for harnessing the mystical forces that shape our reality. Woo! Yes, Candace.
Wow. What were you talking
about? Yes. So good. And today we are going to be talking about the missing pieces to manifestation. You guys don't know how much I've been waiting to hear what Candace has to share. She's only told me her really little intros. So I am just as excited as everybody else. But before we go there, Candace, share with us briefly how you got into this area of expertise. Tell us a little bit of your story.
Okay, so unlike a lot of stories, a lot of us wake up when we have something tragic happen in our lives. And I feel like I haven't gone through that. And there's even a part of me and other people that haven't gone through something that thinks am I as connected to source if I haven't gone through the big trauma? But right. So briefly, my guidance into manifestation and intuition and yoga has all been through meditation. Basically, my mom was prescribed Valium when I was 12 years old. And she's the whole family said, no, we're not doing that. And so my parents took our entire family to learn to meditate. So I was 12 years old. I started meditating and I just had this ability to be able to manifest and connect intuition. And so then I wanted to help other people, right? I wanted to be the helper. And so I became a social worker. Right out of high school, I went to university and became a social worker. And then I realized how I was going into, savior complex with my first husband, especially, but a lot of my relationships, right? I took on that savior complex, the rescuer. I was really surrounded by unhealthy relationships and people with kind of the victim mentality or not knowing how to get out of their situations. And I made a very conscious decision to surround myself with more healthy people. And when I look back at it, I was in that marriage for 7 years. And then now this marriage, it's been we're coming up to 28 years, right? And it was that conscious decision to manifest what it is that I really wanted and take that look at releasing toxic relationships and surrounding myself with more of what I really truly wanted.
Ooh, who can relate? I want you to drop Let's see, drop a 1 in the chat if you, I know the chat's open now, so drop a 1 in the chat if you can relate to wanting to release those toxic relationships or have released those toxic. Yes, look at that, look at that. Yes.
Right.
We can all relate.
One.
Yeah, and that we want to manifest more, that we want to really be more in that flow like you are, and you're going to teach us today how to do that. Nice. So Candace, tell us a little bit about this first, what shall we call it, mind shift that you are going to share with us today.
Okay, so people will tell you, and I know you're going to relate to this, but people will tell you to have a plan of action. But here's why that's wrong. So I'm going to say that people will tell you to have a plan of action. And here's why that's wrong. And I even remember in our marriage, I was like to my husband, I'm like, because, you know, you start comparing yourself to your friends, right? And they're doing, so they're successful. And so I said to my husband, we need to have a plan. We need to have like a 3-year plan and a 5-year plan. And, you know, I'm the one who has been a yoga therapist for 25 years, but he's like the biggest yogi, right? Yeah. And he goes like, yeah, that doesn't work for me, right? He's like, I don't do the plan, right? And I'm like, but we need to have a plan. And I was going into that masculine energy of, right? Like that.
Anyone have to have plans? Anyone in here, drop a P. P for plans. Anyone are planners? I want to see you in the chat. Okay, keep going, Candace.
Okay, so and it was because our friends that I thought were more successful, right, had a plan. Yeah. And so then we decided we would make a plan. And so we were deciding that we're going to sell our acreage, and it was time. And so we put our house up for sale. And after 3 months, it didn't sell. So there's our plan out the window. We're like, okay, that plan didn't work, right? Yeah. And so then we said, okay, well, we made a new plan. Let's not sell it now until the spring. So we took it off the market in November. We're going to start selling it again in May. And in the early February, I got a call from a realtor and said, are you interested in showing your house? By Friday, the house was sold. And so then we had to move into flow, right?
Oh, okay.
I had retreats in Mexico booked. We had a cruise booked. We didn't know where we were moving to. We didn't even know what city we were moving to. We have to move into flow. And it's connecting to our source. It's connecting to our inner energy, right? Of where are we guided? And it's so interesting because that happened in 2018. And I remember 2018, 2019. And I remember in 2020, New Year's Eve, we're like laughing about making New Year's resolutions. We were killing ourselves laughing. And then of course, COVID hit, right? We're like, we're not making any plans. That doesn't work for us, right? It's about being guided. It's about being guided by source. And
so is it not about making any plans, or is it and only staying in alignment with source? Because we have some planners in the chat. Their minds are being blown right now. So
no, I'm all about setting intentions. Right? Okay, I'm all about setting intentions.
It's not about the plan, the detailed plan. It's the intention.
And the thing about manifesting though is like connecting to source energy. And so how often do we want to micromanage source?
Yeah.
Like I've been there, right? Like, okay, so it's bringing you this opportunity and you're like, okay, that's good. But if you could just like make it this day and, you know, like, right. Yeah. We try to micromanage God, if you will, like whatever the spirit of your own understanding is, right? God, source, universal energies.
I didn't want it to happen like this. Stop.
Yes.
Why are you doing this to me?
Right. And so often, like, you know, when we're manifesting, we create, we get the ideas, we get the inspiration, and then we try to shift it. We try to change it. And when we're planning and micromanaging and trying to control things, it puts us into struggle. It puts us into competition. You know, we make it harder for ourselves, right? Like, it's like, oh, it has to be hard. There has to be challenges and struggles. Even when I go back to my story, it's like, I've had a very privileged life. Like I've had a very beautiful life. It doesn't mean there hasn't been challenges, but I haven't gone through something tragic that catapulted me into my spiritual awakening. I just moved through it. Right. And so there's that part of us that feels like we need to have struggle, we need to have hardship, we need to have challenges. Anything worth having, what is that saying? Anything worth having is you have to work hard for it or
Yeah,
something.
I was going to say it's hard work. Yeah.
Yeah, anything worth having is you have to work hard for it. And what that does is it puts us into competition and it puts us into a place of lack. And when we're in a place of lack, it stops it, right? So what I'm talking about is, where do our dreams get stuck in our bodies and in our life and in through the manifestation process?
Yeah.
And so if it can get stuck in that space of a place of lack, and deservingness of it, right? One of the things that I've noticed, because I've studied wealthy people a lot in the last 5 years, and one of the things I noticed is they feel like they deserve it. There's a real strong feeling of deserving and hard work. I've worked hard, I deserve it.
Yeah.
How often do we hear people say that? I worked hard, I deserve it.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of us that are struggling with manifestation goes, oh, do I deserve it? Did I work hard? Did I work hard enough? Right? And we start to
we're taught humility, right? We're taught like, be humble, like don't get cocky, don't get right, don't get big-headed or ahead of yourself. And then that's the voice that really stops us from having that confidence and having that belief, right? That anyone have ever had the belief of like, oh, when people get rich, they change. When people get successful, they're different, right? And I don't want to be different. I don't want to lose my friends. I don't want to lose my family. There's that, like you said, that fear, that stuck point. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes. And you start, and even you see your friends that have gotten really wealthy and you're like, oh, they're so full of, they're so full of themselves, or whatever you start to believe about it. And so when we're in that sense of lack, and the way we can tell if we're in that sense of lack is first thing in the morning. When you wake up first thing in the morning, and I always do this when I have house guests or when I'm around family. How was your sleep last night? And if they tell me, oh my God, it was horrible, I didn't sleep last night at all, they're instantly they're immediately in a place of lack. Immediately you're in a place of lack.
Okay.
So every time you wake up in the morning,
yes,
if you say, oh my God, I had a horrible sleep, or, oh my God, this day is going to be horrible, or whatever, when you start your day with that, like that, you're already in a place of lack. And it's really hard to shift that, right? It's hard to shift out of that. And it's like, oh no, this is an abundance. Like even this morning, my husband's struggling with a little bit of a cold and I went to bed after him. So I had a harder time closing the blinds. So the sun was pouring in and he's like, oh my God, the sun is so, like we got to get different blinds on here. And I'm like, how beautiful. It's a sunny, beautiful day, right?
Yeah.
So, starting with that, oh my goodness, look at the sun pouring in on us it's like we're in the sun bath first thing this morning.
Love that. Yeah. And it, like you said earlier, it's about being in that flow and being mindful of our energy and where we have that kink in the hose, right? Where there's blocks in that flow to allow for manifestation to occur is what I'm hearing you say. Did I get that right?
Yes. And manifestation.
And our the way we wake up in the morning is the very first way that we could either enter into lack or we can enter into abundance.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, yes, set intentions, but knowing how you're blocking the intentions through being in a place of lack, micromanaging source, having that control of the plans, right? When, yes, we need to plan our day, but do we need to really plan our life? Like, do we need to have the 5-year plan? Because manifestation happens very, very quickly. It can happen very quickly.
Would you say
another thing we do is put a timeline.
Right. Would you say that planning is in some ways lack then? Is that what you're also saying? Because you're limiting what the universe could bring you by saying like, oh, I want it this way. And we're only able to see one of infinite ways that it can come to fruition. And what if we're planning it for 5 years when it could happen in 5 months? And
Exactly.
So,
That happened to me last summer. We bought our dream home. We sold our house when I was in Bali. We had a trip, a month-long trip in Bali. And when it was all coming together last summer, I said to my daughter, can I really have everything I want by Christmas? And she laughed and she goes, well, Mom, you know you can. And I'm like, I can't, I'm in awe of it, right? How
Yeah.
fast it can happen for us. You're right.
Right.
So by planning, we're putting restrictions on it. We're giving it timelines. We're saying that we're not ready for it now, and
Right.
we're ready for it then. And we're shrinking the vision,
Yeah.
right? We're shrinking the ideas into
Yeah.
this. And I always say in my course that don't dream big. Don't fit your dream into your present reality. Allow yourself to dream big, and then allow your reality to fit into your dream.
Okay, wait, we have to like pause that and say that again, because that's a mic dropper. Say
So,
that again, Candace.
okay, so you want to dream big, and
Yes.
don't try to fit your dream into your present reality. Dream
Whew.
big,
Yeah.
and then allow your reality to fit into your dream.
And that is what planning does. Planning is trying to fit your dream into your current reality, and therefore is coming from a lack energy, which therefore stops that flow of manifestation. Yet we got some mic drops. Love that. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Because we can and so because it's going to go into my next topic, but
Yeah.
like we can dream big. We can dream big, and then we shut it down.
Yeah. Well, let's go into the next one, because I think we definitely drove that one home. We wanted to land that. They got that mic drop.
Okay, so let me find it.
Yes, Christopher. Thank you, Christopher, for writing it. Dream big. Allow your reality to fit in your dream, not your dream to fit into your reality. Yes. Okay. You got it, Candace? Next one?
I got it.
Okay. What's the next one?
All right. So people will tell you your thoughts create your reality, but here's why that's wrong.
Okay, wait. Pause.
Okay, let me
Anyone else believe that their thoughts create their reality? Because I know I do. That's what I was taught in psychology and, even metaphysics. Yeah. Okay, we got our yeses. Let's tell us. Why are we wrong?
Okay. So here's why that's wrong. We have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and 85% of them are negative. And so how can we control every single thought that we can't possibly control? We can't possibly control it. So when we're in the manifestation process, we think that because we can't control all our thoughts, that's why we're not getting what we want. I'm not manifesting what I want because I have all these negative thoughts and I can't control all of the thoughts, and it puts us into pressure and it puts us into overwhelm, and we're messing up somehow. Like how many of you in the chat feel like you're doing it wrong? You're manifesting wrongly, right? Like you're doing it wrong.
Well, up until I was in Candace's manifestation course, but yes.
Yes, I'm doing it wrong. I must be missing something because it's not happening.
Yeah.
And it's because we have all of these rules that is preventing us from doing it, from actually manifesting, is that we're restricting it and putting us in that place of lack.
Yeah.
And we have to move from our head. And don't get me wrong, I use affirmations all the time. And I do believe, right? Like that we do want to set intentions and all of that. But it's bringing it down into the heart. It's bringing it down into, what does our soul want for us in this lifetime? It's not what our mind wants. I mean, your mind might want the car, the house, the bank account, the relationship, the body, your mind wants that.
Yeah.
But when you look deeper into it, what does your soul really want for you in this lifetime? And your soul wants you to go big. Your soul wants you to make a difference. Your soul wants to make an impact. And it's really is connecting to our intuition. And I believe in truth, it's our intuition that offers a more natural and effective approach to manifestation.
So it's rather than our thoughts creating our reality, it's really like tuning into our intuition and letting that be our guidance, letting that be, right, the compass towards the life of our dreams. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
Like come down into our soul, because our soul is going to push us out of our comfort zone. The soul, the first time, I think I've told this story before, but the first time I got on stage, I was asked to get on stage and I said no, because I was afraid.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she said, okay, well, if you can't do it this year, then we're going to get you to do it next year, because we really want you to do this. We really want you to be one of our presenters and talk. And I'm like, okay, then I'll do it. Fine, I'll do it. right? That was my soul. I was being guided. I was
Yeah.
being guided to do that. I mean, I could do workshops, I could do classes, I could do, sitting on the floor in circles and connecting and doing trainings, that type of thing. I was great at. But to get on a stage on a stage in a filled room with my peers, I was like, I'm not doing that. So it takes you out of your comfort zone. And I believe this so deeply that it's our soul that wants us to do what we're here to do in this lifetime, to live our purpose, to live our
Yeah.
zone of genius.
So this is kind of intuitive, not planned question. I'm just getting this, maybe hearing this from the audience actually. So what do you do? Like if you're trying to follow your heart, right? Your soul's guidance in your heart. And then there's this like twisted gut, like nervousness, like you said, the fear of speaking. Like how do you guide yourself to really allow your heart to lead versus that like fear in your gut, like not overwhelm you? Like what's one way that we can do that?
Well, there is a part of us that wants it, right?
Yes.
There's all like,
Yes.
again, let's ask this question. How many of you feel like you're here for more? That there's something deep within you that knows that you have a knowingness that you're here for more. You're here for
Yes.
greatness.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, 100%. And so it's that part of us, that knowingness, that inner knowing that we have, that we're here for greatness, to really step into it. So yes, I got asked to speak on stage and I was scared and I said no. And she said, okay, well, I believe she was an earth angel, right? To say,
Yeah.
oh, well, we'll do it next year. But there's this
Yeah.
part of my brain that's saying, well, I kind of want to do it. Like I want to do it. I want to make a bigger impact. I want to make more money, right? This was part of what my soul wanted. I wanted to manifest my business growth and to be global and to make big impact in the world. And so by following, so the first thing is when the fear comes and you have that gut that's saying, oh God, that's so scary. There is that part of you that goes, oh hell no, you need to do this. The same thing when I was asked to do a TEDx talk, I never told anybody for weeks. They announced it on Facebook and people were like, oh my God, you're doing a TED talk? I'm like, yeah.
Like, don't watch me yet. I'm going to be on stage. I don't want you to hear me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, and I really like what you're saying too. So what I'm getting from what you're saying is that your heart knows, your soul knows what's next for your, right, having more impact and doing more good in the world. And when our gut, our fear like creeps in and creates that thought, it's again not listening to that thought and allowing your heart to override it, right? Allowing your
but it is also one of the areas where it can get stuck, right?
Right. That's why, because we go here. Everybody, most of us go right here.
We go here. So manifestation isn't that we have to catch all our thoughts. It's that we need to keep dropping down into our heart because we can get stuck there. We can get stuck going back to the head and trying to figure it out.
That's powerful. Like allowing that energy to stay flowing. Like don't get stuck here. Just keep dropping in. Keep dropping in. Keep dropping in. Oh, that's so
and
good.
and to the gut, like really connecting to your intuitive wisdom, that inner knowing. So, right, like coming back to the dream, you're dreaming big. So once you start putting it out there and dreaming big, the opportunities are going to start to come, right? The opportunities, the possibilities, right? They start to come, and it's like whether or not you put the hold on, whether you put the block on.
Yeah.
Which is why we hire coaches. Like that's why I have a coach at all times.
Yes.
I don't want to stop myself. I want to keep moving forward.
Right. And we can't see the picture when we're in the frame, right? Like that's why it's important to have that person to see where we're getting stuck. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So I do have another question for you, Candace, before we go into your next mind shift. How do you discern, like when you get that, because my fear speaks to me in my gut, but I also know that our intuition can live in our solar plexus. So how do you discern when it's more that, fear, that block versus the intuition saying, it could be saying no, right? But how do we know the difference?
One of the things I do, and this happened to me when I raised $20,000 for victims of sex trafficking in India. And so I raised it very quickly. So as a result, I was going to go to India. And
Nice.
so 6 weeks, 7 weeks before I was going to leave, I got the intuitive hit to sell my yoga studio. I had a yoga studio in the city for 17 community.
That was
I
like
had,
she had a yoga studio in the city for 17 years. Boom.
boom. I had created community. I loved what I did, but remember I wanted to make bigger impact. I wanted to be global. Like these were the things that I was putting out into the universe. I want to have a bigger impact, a bigger income, and to be global.
Yeah.
And so I decided to do the Global Save It Challenge, where I raised $20,000 for victims of sex trafficking. And so then I got the intuitive hit to sell my studio. And I'm like, everybody, like even my husband said, what are you doing? Like you're only going to India for 6 weeks. You love yoga. You love what you do. You love it all. And so then there's a little trick I do, or thing I do, is I say it out loud. I say it in the negative and I say it in the positive. I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this. So when we're at a crossroads, and there is that part of us that knows, right? Like whenever you use a pendulum, there's that part of you that knows what you want the answer to be. Right?
Yeah.
And so when you get out of confusion, like we get lost in confusion. And when we bring ourselves out of confusion, we actually do know. And so what I did is I said it out loud. I'm going to keep the studio. And I got a no. And it was not just a no. I got not just the word, but it was a contraction. It was like a punch in the gut. My body rolled. And then I said, I'm going to sell the studio, or I'm going to let the studio go. And it was like a yes. And it was an opening, and it was an expansion. And so I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. I mean, I would like to think that I would like to say that I immediately called her back and said, I'm going to, let the studio go, but I didn't. I still waited. Right. But I knew I had to still work a few things out, and then I ended up selling the studio instead of just closing it.
Wow. That's that's a powerful story, right? Like you wanting to do something so impactful, right? Raising $20,000 for victims of sex trafficking in India, and doing that and really hearing this, what makes no logical sense. So this is another, right? Like this is another connection back to what you were saying earlier about, it's not about your thinking, right? Because logic would tell us that doesn't sound like a good idea.
Right.
That's not part of the plan.
Exactly.
Right? And we're like, and then it's like, oh, well, but that's the guidance. So you stayed in the flow and so what I heard you say, and I do know this part of your story a little bit, but so let me clarify. It wasn't initially to sell, right? You said it was initially to just close it and let it go.
Yeah.
Right. But who knew that you would end up selling it and they're, benefiting and profiting from this amazing 17-year yoga studio that you built, this legacy, right?
Yeah.
So, and you wouldn't have received that gift, it sounds like, if you didn't follow the intuition to let it go first, to then get the idea to sell.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. And that's been a bit of a theme. That's been a bit of a theme in my manifestations, is that once you release the attachment to it, then it seems to come faster.
Wow. I think that's profound for all of us, right? Because it's so scary to release something. Like, I feel in general, what holds most of us back is this attachment to what we've already built. And then we don't want to lose what we built so far. We're like, okay, but I don't want to lose this. And you're saying that when you follow that intuitive guidance, when you get out of your head, when you stop making those plans, that even if you are guided to let this go, it's for the manifestation of something bigger. That's what I'm hearing you say.
Yes, absolutely. Because remember, I wanted to be global. I wanted to make it more impact. I wanted to make more income, right? Those were what I wanted. And so what it did is, by selling the studio, I came home. I had a period of recovery from some of the experiences I saw. And what it did is it opened up time and space for me to create my deck of oracle cards, which I had been working on while I had my studio, write my book, do a TEDx talk, travel the world, travel the world speaking on this. on this
Yes.
topic, where if I had stated, neither decision is right or wrong. There was no right or wrong decision,
Right.
but for what I truly wanted to manifest, I needed to let it go.
Oh, so powerful.
Mhm.
Anyone know in the chat that they need to let go something for their next greater adventure out there? Anyone? Okay, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, yes. No, not me, Ranchelle says.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not here. Let me just tell you this part though. Don't get me wrong. There was a part in the back of my mind that, well, if things don't work out, I can always go teach at this yoga studio.
I can
Like,
sell it and then go
I
teach
still have
back
that.
again.
What's that?
You can sell it and then go be a teacher back at your
Yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. That was there. That was there. Like, oh, I got a backup plan.
Plan B. Yeah. No, I hear you. Oh, so good. So good. Okay. So Candace, tell us what your third mind shift is today.
Okay, so people will tell you that to manifest what you want, you must have a powerful morning routine. And here's why
Right.
that's wrong. Pardon?
Hence why I think I can't manifest, because I don't have a powerful morning
Right.
routine. Okay, tell me. Why am I
Right.
wrong?
I know. I was thinking about you getting up at 5 o'clock this morning, and I'm like, man, to get in my meditation, I would have had to get up at
At like 3.
at 3, you know, like all of the stuff. And yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So why is it not necessary to have a powerful morning routine? Tell us, Candace.
Well, a lot of it puts a lot of pressure on ourselves, right? So, like, how many of you, feel like you haven't got enough in your gratitude journal? You're not doing it every day. Like, I always think of Oprah. Like, Oprah has her gratitude journal and she, writes in it 5 things every day. And I'm like, oh my God, I have my gratitude journal and I've done it like 6 times since January,
Yes.
right? So, and as I was saying before, like, how many feel like you're doing it wrong? And it's because of that I don't believe that you have to have a strong morning routine, is because then it puts so much pressure on ourselves. And, I just don't think, as we're going back to it, we visualizing and visioning, I feel like there's this difference. How many of you have heard that take 10 minutes after you meditate every morning to visualize what it is that you want? And
Yes.
okay,
I heard
yes,
that.
yes, yes. And that's okay if you know exactly what you want. But the thing is that most people, and especially women, don't know what they want. They know what they don't want. We're really good at knowing what we don't want.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Women.
clear.
Yeah, that part is clear, but we don't really know what we do want. And so and we're so good at putting everybody else's dreams on the front burner, right? Like, we put our husbands or partners' dreams out there, and we're supportive and we're there for them and ready to move or do what we need to do for their dream. And our children, we're there to support them, to send them to school, to, wherever they need to go to become what they want to do. We're really good at all of that. But when we start to put our own dream out there, there's so much that comes with that. Like, am I deserving of it? What is this going to do? How is this going to change my family and my relationships and financially? And how is this going to, like, what are all this? There's so many obstacles that come up with it.
Right.
And then also, I believe, so we don't really know what it looks like. We don't know what to visualize.
Mm-hmm.
So I do this exercise where I ask you to visualize your kitchen right now.
Okay. Got it.
No, sorry. That's not it. Visualize your dream home right now. Visualize the dream home that you would like to have. And I know you have a dream home that you have on your vision board. So, or have been looking for to put on your vision board. So visualize this dream home that you have. I'm going to ask everybody to do that right now. Visualize the dream home that you want to live in. Visualize the yard and the beach, and sticking your feet into the sand, and just really visualizing your home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to visualize right now. Don't visualize your kitchen. Don't visualize the kitchen that you have already. Do not visualize that kitchen. Don't visualize the fridge. Don't visualize the cupboard. Don't visualize opening up the fridge door and seeing the contents in the fridge. Do not visualize that. Stay visualizing. Right? And so what are you doing? Of course, you're visualizing your own kitchen. You're like, damn it, I had my feet in the sand and now I'm back in my kitchen. right? And there's nothing in the fridge to eat.
Yeah.
Right? And so we can visualize, but we don't really know what we want. So that's just an example. That was just a very brief display that you actually can visualize, because so many women feel like they can't. But it's because we don't really know what we want. And I hear this a lot. I want financial freedom. Okay, let's dive into that. Let's look
Right.
into that. What does that mean? And then
Right.
it's like, oh, because then I could send my kids to school here, and I could buy this vehicle. And, I would like to have a hybrid, so it's electric and it doesn't use so much gas. And, I want to buy this house because they would create a different lifestyle for us. Like, it's going into the house, the car, the stuff, but what's underneath it? The money. What is underneath that is that you really want?
Right.
And the other thing about entrepreneurs, soulpreneurs, empaths, intuitives, energy workers, all of us, right, is that we know we're here for something more. So that's the difference between visualizing. So visualizing is the house, the car, the relationships.
Okay. So like seeing in your mind's eye, the movie of your mind,
Yeah.
that's visualizing. Okay.
That's visualizing. You can
Got it.
visualize what it is you want and what you want it to look like and how you want it to go. And visioning is just knowing that you're here for more, but you don't really know what it looks like.
Okay.
Right? Like I
Yeah.
knew I was here for more. I knew I wanted to make a bigger impact,
Yeah.
but I didn't really know what that would look like. And then
Right.
India crossed my my emails. I got invited, that came through. I got a phone call asked to be a TEDx speaker. Like, these things start to come to you, right? When you just stay true to this knowing that I'm here for something more.
And you couldn't have imagined what that would have looked like. So
No.
it's like, it's like the plan, right? Like fitting your dream into your current reality is sometimes how we begin to visualize. But when we stay in that vision, and are you talking about like this energetics, like the vision of like that expansion of like have like just more, right?
Yeah.
Like doing
It's
more,
that,
being more.
because like I asked everybody, right? Do you feel like you're here for something more? So there's that
They all
knowing.
said yes.
And
Yeah.
everybody said yes. So that's our purpose, right? That's our zone of genius. That's what we're here to do in this lifetime. And so how do we stay connected to it? And so it's just it's staying true to that knowing and not thinking that you shouldn't have it. Oh, you're asking for too much. You should be happy with the way things are. You should be happy with the house, the car, the stuff you have now.
Yeah.
It's and yes, I'm happy with the house, the car, the business, the like all the stuff I have. And I know I'm here for something more.
Yes, yes. So how do you, Candace, how do you recommend people to stay in touch with that feeling of knowing that we're here for something more? Because visualizing is very tangible and they're like, okay, picture this, picture your dream home, picture that. So there's this ability for us to conceptualize it, but how do you really like stay connected to that vision?
First of all, it's acknowledging it. It's acknowledging it and not trying to pretend it's not there. Like not trying to, tell yourself, oh no, I should be happy with the way things are. I should be happy with my life as it is. Right. So it's like, it's acknowledging that part of ourself. It's acknowledging that part of our soul. And she gets really excited when she is like, yeah, let's do this.
Yes.
And then also talking to that part of ourselves, talking to source, putting out into the universe, spirit, what are my next steps? Spirit, guide me along my path. Show me the next steps to take in my business. Show me the next steps to take and see the opportunities coming and then taking the opportunities. So I was talking about last summer, can I really have everything I want? Can I really have everything I want by Christmas?
Yeah.
I wanted a new house. I didn't even know where I live existed. I didn't know there was a district here. I didn't know this even existed at the time.
Yeah.
I just knew that what I was being shown, the houses I was being shown were not where I wanted to move to.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's not where I want to go. Yeah. And so then it was like, okay, so how do but just opening up. And then finally with the detachment, I finally said, okay, I'm not doing this right now. Right?
Yes. I
Because
remember you specifically telling me that.
Yeah, I did. I said, yeah, because we wanted to move to the city and, but yeah, the houses were not what we were looking for. They're more expensive and there was a hard market to get into. And we're like, okay, I'm not doing this right now. And then boom, we got the house exactly where we wanted to live with a new lifestyle. Like it's a whole lifestyle change.
Well, what I experienced watching you do this was you said, okay, we're not going to do this right now. And so I'm just going to plan a month-long trip to Bali.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go with what I want. And you just like literally leaned into what you would love, to you and your husband spending a whole month in Bali together, really like loving on one another, living your best life. And then everything like boom, 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 right after you planned your trip, you're like, I have my tickets booked and my house is,
Yes.
like I have to sell my house because I want to buy this one. That
Yeah.
was so powerful to watch you in that.
Yeah. We actually bought this house first and then we still had to sell the other house. We're like, okay, we're in.
While you're in Bali, right? You guys had to get
Then we're in
papers
Bali.
signed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were actually on the back of a scooter and we had to pull over and we have our helmets on and we're like doing DocuSign. And we sold our house when we were in Bali.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Like if all of you aren't knowing this already, like Candace is the master of manifestation. Like if you can't tell by now, she is so good at this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's just recap. Can we recap your 3 mind shifts before we go into some juicy gifts?
Yes, let's recap. So the first one is people will tell you to have a plan of action.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about why that was wrong.
Yep.
The second one is, I don't know why I keep losing it on my
Well, to people will tell you to have a plan of action, but rather than creating that plan, you need to stay in flow, right? And
Yes.
follow your intuition. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And the second one is your thoughts create your reality. But here's why that's wrong. And that's coming down to the heart. Come down to your heart, come down to what your soul really wants for you. And
following those nudges.
And following those nudges.
Okay.
Stepping out of your comfort zone to step into your power.
And not letting your dream fit into your reality.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. 100%. And then the third one is that you have to have a daily practice. But here's why that's wrong. And it's just because we put too much pressure on ourselves. I am all about simplifying spirituality, simplifying yoga, simplifying business, right? We put so much pressure on ourselves and we think we have to do it certain ways. But when we are really following it and doing it authentically and organically, especially as women, I think, especially as women, that's how we get our sacred success, is by following our intuitive guidance and following our flow. And so the morning practice, do what works for you. Do what you need to do and stay true to that part of us that knows that you're here for something more.
Right. And it's using that as the compass, not the visioning or the morning routine or the all the things that we're told we have to do. Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So Candace, you have, let's first talk about the free gifts for our regular participants and our VIP participants, because you also have an amazing offer for everyone. So I want to get to that, but let's quickly go into what's your free gift for.
Okay. So my free gift is a 4-part video series, and it is realigning with your vision. And it really helps us when we're in that ebb and flow. Like, so as much as we would love to always be in flow, the truth is that we do go through ebb and flow periods of manifestation and for attracting what we want. So the 4-part video series will really help you to move through, especially if you're in an ebb and you want to get back into a flow.
Nice. And perfect. Go ahead and click that link right now, Candace's link, because you're going to want to get that. We just talked about flow. So we want to make sure we stay in that flow. We want to realign, right? With the vision. Exactly what I had asked Candace, and now she's giving it to us in a free gift. I had no plans for that, by the way. Okay, what? I did not know that was going to happen. And Candace, can you tell everyone about the VIP gifts? So,
okay, yes. So the VIP gift is a course I sell on my website, Lead with Intuition. It's an online digital course. It's valued at $497, and it's videos, audios, and training. as well as with it, you get an intuitive manifestation magic session with me.
Nice.
And it's sold for $500. So it's $997 value. And yeah, if you're a VIP, grab it right away. Grab the
So,
course.
okay, let me just presence this right now. The
Okay.
VIP ticket right now is $97, right? So that's the VIP ticket. So for $100, less than $100, they can get over almost $1,000 in value from just your gift, just your VIP gift, not counting everybody else's. Okay.
Correct.
Let's just present how, like, if you just want Candace's gift, go get your VIP ticket right now and go to the portal, the VIP portal,
Yes.
and access this right after the summit. Okay.
Or you could go to my website and you could book all that for $1,000.
Oh yeah, just go pay for it. Just go to her website and pay for it right now. go pay $1,000, you know, $497 and then book a one-on-one. And yes, that works too. Okay, so Candace, you have an amazing opportunity that we want to share with everyone specifically for this summit. So why don't you share what you have to offer to everyone?
Yeah, so I have a self-led program. It's called Manifestation Magic. It's 7 videos and work and like handouts and stuff to work through this process to really clear out where you may be stuck and where and how to move through it to the next. Because I always see like it can get stuck in any point. So I like to use this as an example that say you get you're out driving and all of a sudden you get a vision, you see a horse out running in the field and you think, oh my God, I'm going to learn how to ride horses. So you're getting like this connection to the spiritual connection to source. Then you start to visualize it. You can see yourself on horseback, the wind in your hair, you're, riding your horse. And then all of a sudden it might go whipping through and it goes straight down. And all of a sudden you go, but it costs a lot of money to ride horses. And, how's this going to affect my family, my household? How is it going to do that? So
and this is in my head right now. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Keep going.
You go whipping down, right? And you think, how much is it going to cost? And right, how's this going to affect my family? And then you go, oh, but I would love to have this relationship with the horse and to pet the horse. And then you go to, you start to feel into it. And then but horses are kind of scary. They're pretty big. I don't know. So you go to a little bit of fear, right? There is going to be fear there. And then all of a sudden you start talking about it and you talk to your husband and your family. You go, you know what? Let's start learning how to ride horses. And so it can get stuck in any place. And so this course, the Manifestation Magic, and I called it Manifestation Magic because it feels like magic when you manifest. Like it just is like mind blowing, right? Yeah. And so the course will take you through each of the ways of connecting to source, connecting to it, moving through the process so that you will actually have something tangible by the end. And the process is unreal. It works so well.
Well, let me I want to be a testimonial here too, because I have the privilege of being in Candace's course. I'm not done, but I already have had results. So let me just share that, I can totally testify that by following the formula that Candace has laid out for us, which is so intuitive, but you don't think about it. So you have to go find out in the course. But following this formula that Candace has created, like I already in the first month of working, so in this program, I have generated 5 figures last month in my business. Yeah, amazing. Because, and there's a lot of factors in there, but most importantly, I was following Candace's guidance on staying again in the flow. And it's not as simple as it sounds, like it's not as easy as it sounds, I guess.
Right.
It's not just, okay, well, let me just go be in the flow and I can just leave here and do it myself. There's a methodology that she takes us through, and every piece is important. So I just want to testify that it's working. It's working, Candace.
Yeah.
Not that you didn't.
Yay, I love to hear that. Thank you for sharing that. Like that makes me feel so good. And one of the things I noticed is that it usually starts before, as soon as you sign up and register, it starts. Like the process starts, the energy starts.
It did. I didn't even go to your first class when I started having results.
Yeah.
And I started to do things before the class was like, it
Yeah.
was like in alignment with the class that week. Yes.
I know that happens all the time. You come into the class, you go, oh my God, that's been happening to me all week. And that's really, it's like magic. It really is.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Okay, so what is the investment for this?
The investment for it is $888 paid in full, or there's a
Okay.
payment plan of $275 for 4 months. 4
I thought you
months.
froze, but you didn't freeze. Okay.
And I'm giving everybody a bonus from the summit, a session with me, a deep dive session. It's a 90-minute deep dive session. It's a $550 value to really help you get clarity of what you want to manifest. So one of the things about the process is it's really important to manifest one thing at a time. I mean, other things will happen, but really getting clear on what it is that you want to manifest and then bring it through the system, bring it through the process.
Right. And that you're helping us do that, because
Yeah.
that was what I was afraid of when we started. I was like, but I can't see, I don't know which one is my dream home. I don't know which one is this one. I don't know which one. And yet I'm still getting results without having all of those pieces together, because I'm focused on the vision, not the visioning. So yes, that's so powerful. So $888 is the paid in full option. And then there's a payment plan option. So what's the first deposit that all they have to
$275 is the
$275. That's it. Okay. I mean, it helped me. I'm not saying everyone's gonna get this results, but it helped me move up into the 5 figures this past month. And if that's the case, that was like 10x, what, I don't know, 100x.
Yeah.
The value of that.
I love that. I love that.
Let's go. Okay, so can you drop the link? Oh, it's in there. So Sherry, can you drop the link, Sherry, to Candace's offer? And if because we want people to be able to grab that right now. And as she does that, we also have please donate to Build a Village. There's a donation link in the chat as well. That's the organization that we are supporting throughout this summit. Okay, so we will get you that link. It's not here in the moment, but we will get you that sign up link for that $888 or $275. Candace, any final words of wisdom? Oh, there, Candace dropped it for us.
Yeah,
any final words of wisdom before we head on out?
Lean into that knowing that you have, that you're here for something more. Don't deny it. Don't put it on the back burner. Lean into it. Know it's true. Know that you're not being selfish or that you don't deserve it, because you do. You 100% deserve everything that you want.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you, Candace. Thanks for being here, everyone. We'll see you at the next talk. All right, and then you'll see Candace on. Oh, there we go. We're out.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing session on the Sacred Success Summit. For more information or to apply to be a speaker at one of our upcoming events, email our team at breakthrough@clarityconfidenceconnection.com. Now, tune in to another transformational speaker.